Hello, everyone, and welcome. I want to officially welcome you to the Flyrank Frontend AI engineering track. Take a look at the right screen right now because this is your new reality. Welcome to the future of frontend development. The landscape of web development is changing faster right now than it has at any point in the last 2 decades. The traditional way of building applications is evolving. And by being in this room today, you are positioning yourself at the absolute bleeding edge of that evolution. Over the next 9 weeks, we aren't just going to look at code, we are going to change how you think about building software. So let's get started. Before we jump directly into the technical roadmap and timelines, I want to introduce myself properly and pull back the curtain on who will be guiding you through this journey. I want to talk about how I got here, what I do, and what I've learned along the way. I didn't just wake up one day as a solutions engineer at Praella, working alongside a brilliant global team at the Shopify Platinum Partner. I started exactly where many of you are sitting right now, as an intern. My career began at Commerce Care in Zenica, a small town near Sarajevo in Bosnia, cutting my teeth as a junior developer, learning the brutal realities of layout production across Vue.js, Shopware 6, Twig templates, and WordPress. While at Commerce Care, I had the opportunity to work with clients all across Europe, including Austria, Germany, Switzerland, and many more. But one client in particular really stands out. They are one of the absolute biggest team building companies in the world, with global offices spanning Germany, Italy, Spain, the US, and Japan. To give you an idea of their scale, this is a company that services legendary global brands like BMW, Mercedes, and Volkswagen. From there, I took the next step to Hullcaps, sharpening my toolkit as a front-end developer on high-volume Shopify and WordPress systems while engineering custom Vue.js applications. That hands-on execution paved the way for my transition to Power Commerce, where I stepped up as a lead front-end developer. Suddenly, I was directly responsible for leading the implementation path and managing a team of 10 to 12 engineers, solving the most complex architectural bottlenecks in the front-end sphere. While working for Hullcaps and Power Commerce, I had a pleasure of working with massive brands for both the US and Europe. To give you an idea of the engineering scale you encounter at this level, I want to highlight one specific client portfolio that featured over 10 Shopify websites, more than 20 Drupal websites, over 10 WordPress websites, and a handful of custom web apps and bespoke websites, all under a single umbrella. It was an incredible experience to work alongside them, dive headfirst into the numerous different tech stacks they brought with them, and master how to keep a massive multi-platform ecosystem firing on all cylinders. That entire journey is what ultimately prepared me for the role I fulfill today at Praella, solving high-stakes, real-world problems in the global e-commerce ecosystem. Over the past 6+ years, I have architected, optimized, and successfully launched more than 80 major web applications and enterprise e-commerce platforms. Throughout this time, I've had the privilege of partnering with million-dollar global brands, architecting their digital footprint from the ground up and scaling their local and international web infrastructure to handle massive consumer traffic. But I want to be entirely transparent with you about what those 6+ years of experience on my side actually mean. This was not a comfortable standard 9-to-5 journey. These weren't 7 or 8-hour workdays. This has been a relentless loop of 12+ hours per day, fueled by a deep necessity to prove myself that I belonged at the table in every single high-pressure situation that came across me. It represents countless late nights of deep reasoning, constant upskilling, and aggressively perfecting the craft. I'm telling you this because over the next 9 weeks, I expect the same fire from you. If you want to build professional-grade software, you have to put in the hours to master the foundations. If there is one definitive truth I have learned from shipping code to millions of real-world users, it's this: anyone can write code that a computer understands. But true engineers build scalable, resilient architecture that serves human beings. My ultimate goal over this internship is to guide you through that exact transformation, bridging the gap between basic, raw syntax and high-performance engineering. What you can expect: you will have a couple of live sessions, some assignments. Most of these assignments are kept open-ended, so you have the free will to create anything. What we would be looking for is mostly good UX, good front-end principles, and just to see the will and the passion behind this development. I want everyone to take a brief pause and look at the scale of this room. You are not sitting at a small class of 20 or 30 people. Look around you, you are officially part of a movement. Right now, as we speak, there are over 5K active interns synced up in this exact track. This makes us one of the largest specialized front-end AI cohorts on the planet. Because our scale is historic, our expectations are incredibly high. The tech industry right now is flooded with shallow scripts and generic, poorly optimized code layouts, what we professionally call AI slop. Anyone can go to an LLM, type a lazy prompt, and get a broken, unsemantic container layout. That is not what you are here to learn. Our objective is to move you far past that line and transform you into a professional-grade AI engineer. We are going to achieve this through an intense, structured ecosystem of collaborative coding labs, open office hours, and some engineering sessions. This is your community now. Let's build the next generation of web together. This is your internship roadmap. Before we start, let's pause here for a quick bird's eye view. As you can see from the macro timeline layout on the screen, our journey over the next 8 to 9 weeks is structurally divided into 4 progressive phases. I wanted to show you this high-level map first because I want you to understand the momentum of this track. We didn't just throw together a random pile of assignments. This entire program is intentionally architected to mirror a real-world software development lifecycle. We are going to move systematically from day one, environment alignment, straight into heavy core development, up into specialized advanced layers, and finally into enterprise production deployment. Each phase builds directly on top of the last to ensure you are scaling your engineering mindset step by step. Now that you see the full 30,000-foot view of the map, let's zoom in and break down the specific milestones week by week. Let's break down the exact operational timeline of your internship. The curriculum is mapped out into 5 macro phases, spanning 9 intensive weeks. We kick things off immediately with phase 1, the setup, which covers weeks 1 and 2. Right now, in week 1, we are executing the initial meet and greet to align our goals. Your primary engineering milestone this week is local system synchronization. Configuring your IDEs, standardizing your environments, and testing your core AI toolchains to ensure everything is operational. In week 2, we move straight into foundations. I will be hosting your live front-end fundamental sessions, focusing heavily on semantic HTML, layout mechanisms, and clean JavaScript data flows. You will also run the AI-assisted workflow assignment and map complex logic trees using the decision flows. Remember this quote right now because it is the golden rule of software development. Setting the right foundations today prevents technical debt tomorrow. Once your local engines are synchronized, we enter phase 2, the build. Across weeks 3 and 4, this is where your code begins interacting with live server layers. In week 3, we elevate our stack into advanced component composition. You will be building modular React architecture augmented by AI pair programming tools. You will receive your first formal React development homework assignment, and your critical non-negotiable milestone for week 3 is deploying your live capstone project skeleton to a public cloud environment. In week 4, we move into the actual building phase of core features. We will dive deep into accessible component fundamentals, ensuring your interfaces comply with international screen readers and interaction guidelines. I will also host the Core Web Pillars Masterclass, teaching you exactly how to optimize web performance, stabilize cumulative layout shift, and write SEO's optimized semantic trees. Let's move into phase 3, advanced UI, focusing on week 5's milestones, tool results, and structured output in the UI. I can tell you that this topic is where a real application separates itself from a basic chat wrapper. Real AI products don't just stream paragraphs of text, they trigger tools, execute background functions, and return structured data that your UI must dynamically render as live functional components. This is what we call generative UI. You already have exact assignment details, ZOD schema requirements, and grading criteria live in your dashboard to check at any time. What I'm looking for you from you as a mentor in this commitment is production grade UX. When your tools fire, I don't want to see a generic loading spinner or a raw JSON dump. I want to see your design for the entire tool lifecycle defensively, handling everything from input streaming to graceful error states when a network drop occurs. Review your live brief closely, map out your components, and let's build this to true enterprise standards. In week 6, we move into Build Plus. You will construct strict automated testing passes to ensure your states remain predictable under extreme loads. And we will close out the week with a highly unique technical introduction to web shaders, opening up deep visual rendering possibilities. We then accelerate into phase 4, production. Throughout weeks 7 and 8, your custom application is now fully built. And our entire focus shifts to refining it for real-world publication. In week 7, we run complete accessibility compliance audits and deep performance sweeps using enterprise browser profiling tools. We will also look at rendering complex 3D assets natively on the web to maximize user engagement. Moving into week 8, we reach a critical turning point: formal production deployment and engineer-grade documentation. I can tell you that the project is never truly finished when it runs on localhost, and it certainly isn't finished just because you hit deploy. In the enterprise world, shipping a product means ensuring it is stable, secure, and properly documented for the team inheriting it. Your explicit step-by-step checklist, deployment targets, and grading criteria are already live in your dashboard. What we are going to focus on this week is the professional mindset of a production launch. First, your public deployment needs to be flawless. This means configuring your environment variables securely, optimizing your production build outputs, and verifying that your AI streaming routes operate reliably on live public infrastructure without latency bottlenecks. Second, we are prioritizing your project documentation. You will learn how to write an engineer-grade README. Your README is not an afterthought. It is a core feature of your repository. It is the very first thing a senior engineer or a tech recruiter looks at to evaluate your technical maturity. Your documentation must clearly outline your system architecture, your ZOD schemas, and exactly how your frontend orchestrates the upstream AI tool contracts. Treat this week as a professional product handoff. Let's make sure your code and your documentation are fully launch ready. Our journey culminates in phase 5, track finished, which lands squarely in week 9. This is your victory lap. There are no new features built, no new feature builds or complex stacks additions during this week. Week 9 is entirely dedicated to organizing your final code bases, submitting your official program, certifications, and turning in your comprehensive capstone project specifications for final grading and panel review. You started with an empty folder, and in 9 weeks, you finish with a verified industry-grade application asset. Before I hand over the floor to you for questions, I want to leave you with 4 non-negotiable success pillars that will dictate whether you thrive or fall behind in this cohort. First, build daily. AI and modern development tools are exactly like physical muscles. They degrade if you don't use the toolchain daily. You cannot learn this field by reading summaries. You must write code every single day. Second, audit everything. Do not trust AI outputs blindly. LLMs hallucinate, generate outdated syntax, and skip edge cases. Use our upcoming fundamental sessions to learn how to analyze, verify, and clean the code it hands to you. Third, engage with the community. Look at the thousands of interns in our community workspace right now. This massive peer network is your biggest asset. The relationships you build here will open professional doors for years to come. And fourth, focus on UX. Remember this, anyone can wrap an API. Only an engineer can make it feel human and polished. Master the micro details, handle the errors, and build interfaces people love using. All right, team. That is the complete engineering roadmap for this track. The floor is now officially yours. I'm opening up the chat panel for our live 10-minute Q&A block. Drop any questions you have regarding our weekly schedule, project milestones, or the technical stack, and let's talk through them right now. As you type your questions, write down your very first concrete action item before you close your laptop today. Your immediate next step is environment and toolchain setup. Let's make it happen. Discord is coming soon. We're still creating everything, making all of the permissions. So as soon as we have it, we'll share it with you. Everything I heard sounds good. I'm just a bit worried about the assignments and capstone projects because I haven't experienced advanced JavaScript, React, and other things. I only know HTML and CSS. You know the skeleton, and you know how to style the skeleton. JavaScript, React, or whatever framework can come naturally to you if you know the right principles. It's kind of self-explanatory, but you will use AI to help you, but you will still have to validate the AI's outputs. So there's no need to panic here. You will have a React session with one of our mentors, Ishak, who has a great background in React, so there shouldn't be any issues here. Can you clearly tell what to do in week 1, as we have to set up environment, what to deliver in week 1 exactly? So week 1 is this meet and greet. So this is the first session. And one assignment that you have, this isn't something that you are sharing with us per se. This is just setting up your local device for your favorite IDE. That can be VS Code, that can be Cursor, that can be Google's anti-gravity, like whatever you want to use, set it up. Set up the AIs you want to use. So prepare those APIs, try to search for free APIs on the internet. I'm pretty sure there are sport reporting free APIs, food APIs, like whatever you want. And that's basically it for the first week. For now, you just need your IDE, and everything else will be explained in the assignments. You will have a step-by-step guide on what you need to do, And on most of these assignments, you will have attached resources that you can reference to make those decisions. We don't have assignment deadlines per se. You have a week by week basis, you will get assignments, but this is totally self-based. And I'd rather you do a good job and prepare everything than rush things and not deliver something that's worth noting. Are we going to learn how to write codes in meetings, or are we responsible to our assignments along the way? Plus, what is the capstone project idea we should deliver? Okay, this will take a bit of explanation. So most probably we won't showcase like live coding sessions because that's going to take a lot of time, and that takes a lot of effort to pull off, and it can't be really interactive because of the size of the cohort. But what we will do is have dedicated sessions that will go through some of the code and explain what is good, what is bad, give you some best practices, best implementation tactics, something along those lines. For the assignments, you shouldn't worry. On the front-end track, you don't have many assignments. That was my goal to prepare here. I want you to focus week in and week out on one assignment. I don't want you to scramble and have 20 assignments that you can't finish. Per session, up until week 7, you will have one either a live session or pre-recorded session with one of the mentors. Like I said, one of the mentors will be Isaac. The other mentor will be Belmin. He will cover the 3D motion and shaders, and I will be on the first, let's say, official front-end track, the front-end foundations, and the core web pillars. And for the capstone project idea, I'm going to leave this open-ended. I don't want to push down creativity. Front-end is all about creativity. It's all about finding what suits you best. What I don't want to see is basic websites. I just want to see that you understand what you need to do. You have the passion. You have the knowledge. You're trying to learn it. You're trying to figure it out and build us something that kind of stumps us. Let's say it like that. Assignments will be submitted from assignment to assignment. So basically, some of the assignments will be kept by you, like the first assignment, setting up IDs and those things. We don't need to know what you're using. We just need to know that you're comfortable with using what you like. That's the thing. For other assignments, homeworks, whatever happens, the mentor that's assigned to that will probably request either a time frame, or he will notify you whether he needs to see it or not. How can we choose colors and animations according to the website context? So good question. Colors have to, when choosing colors, you have to take a look at one major thing that flags most of the websites is its accessibility. I will teach you that in week 4 on what accessibility is, what front-end SEO is, what semantic HTML, like everything like that, I will teach you so you will know how to choose them. Giving an answer right now would be best practices is always use high contrast coloring. So if you're using a background that's black, your text should be something like white. You have a lot of websites that can calculate that accessibility part, so you can choose it based off of that. For animations, You can take a look at across the internet, like any web page you open right now probably has some sort of animations. I'm not a big animations fan, to be honest, but everybody has their own likings, and I would let you choose what you want to do there. We will work on full project or only some tasks. So you will have weekly assignments. Those will be the small tasks that you would have to complete. This is just to broaden your knowledge around something, some specific theme that we cover that week. For a full project, that will be your capstone project. So that's a full front end project. You won't build backend, you won't build a database, you're just building a front end with APIs connecting data and everything else. So because we're on a front end track, we're just doing front end, not backend, not databases, not cloud architecture or anything like that. How much a person know about React optimization? Do we also know about front end other frameworks as well? And did we also implement all of them? So uh, the main frameworks that we will be using on this front end track would be React and probably Next.js when we're talking about 3JS and animations and everything like that. You don't have to know it. You can use Vue.js, you can use AngularJS, like whatever you feel comfortable with, use that. Whatever is easier for you to understand and work with, use that. You can always use CSS frameworks like Bootstrap or Tailwind. Uh, HTML is a given. Like you have a lot of options there. That's why we kept it kind of open-ended. We didn't want to force you to use something that you don't want to use. Do we get themes to choose from, or are we free to choose ourselves? You are free to choose yourselves. So just try to make it not copy paste of some other website. We don't want to see that. We don't want to see like a simple portfolio. Please try your best to create something that you would present and have a chance of getting a job after this. So this is whatever you're building for yourselves, and that's your like at the end you should be proud of what you built. Will we be learning GSEP and 3GS? GSEP probably not. GSEP is used across e-commerce, and it's probably more popular than 3GS. But for this instance, we're going to cover Next.js with 3GS instead of GSEP. Are we going to do scroll trigger animations? Yeah, you will probably cover this with motion shaders and 3D animations. So at the later stages of this track, you will have these animation sessions with Belmin, and he will cover, I think, most of this. Where will we stand skill-wise after completing these tasks? And this entirely depends on you. So if you work hard, if you research enough, you kind of push yourself, you could be valued higher than an intern. That's not for me to say. That's something for you to discover. But try hard, don't give up, and you will probably get somewhere close to a junior or like a high junior level. If you're already there, you could probably push yourself self even higher to a mid-year level. Which editor should I use for work, VS Code or Cursor? Entirely depends on what you prefer. You can use either or both, like whatever you find most usable or most easy, you should use. There are tons of other editors that you could probably use, but whatever you choose, you can choose. I personally use Cursor. I use VS Code as well when I need it, and that's about it. Could you review our project assignment and guide us how to fix any error that comes up? So this is why I structured the front end track like this. You won't have many assignments, and I won't do any hand holding during those assignments. I want you to figure out this, like any error that comes up, you should try and figure out yourselves. When you start working, when you really want to jump from developer to engineer, you will have to think outside of the box and try to figure out your problems on your own. Most of the time, people around you or co-workers or whoever won't be able to help you because they're working on something else themselves. So I want you to try and learn that talent here, or at least cultivate that talent here, to whenever a problem occurs, the first thing you should do is do your research. Try and figure it out on your own. And trust me, you will feel a lot better if you figure it out on your own rather than me tell you what you need to fix. I'd like to ask a question. Will we be making the front-end development and React website for clients and companies before releasing to clients? How will our websites be reviewed by Flyrank AI? So, good question. Um, First of all, it doesn't have to be a React website. It can be whatever you want. Like I mentioned multiple times, it can be Vue.js, AngularJS, whatever you want. It can be that. You are building a capstone project throughout this track, and this capstone project is your private project. This is something that you will have, that you can use, and you can have like to share within your portfolio and everything like that. For how websites will be reviewed by Flyrank AI, most of our mentors will sit down and try to get through as many as we can. We will look at them by hand, some of them by hand, some of them we will do with AI. So that's why you have to do your assignments and integrate them with READMEs and everything like that, so we can do all of that checking. I had some issues with Cloud Code's free credits and its models. Can I switch to Copilot, Gemini, or Antigravity, or are we supposed to use only Claude or Cursor? Like I said, you can use whatever you want. If paying for credits is a limitation for you, there's always free tools: ChatGPT, Gemini, DeepSeek, even Claude's chat engine. Anti-gravity, like whatever you want, even Copilot you can use. So whatever you feel comfortable with, you can use. It's not mandatory to use Cloud Code on this. Let's do a couple of more 2 or 3 more, and we should be good. We'd be able to build React Native. So not React Native. React Native is for mobile applications, for mobile development. We will be using React.js that is being used to build web applications. We will be front AI engineers, or what I mean, I don't know what this is, lol. So you're gonna be front-end engineers. With AI or without AI, you are striving to be front-end engineers. Whether you're using AI, and I'm suggesting that you should, but whether you're using it or not, you're still striving to be a front-end engineer here. Last question. Can you tell us what we will learn in front-end engineering? You will learn how to set up a front-end project. So that's the basic. You will learn what the skeleton is. Skeleton is the HTML. You will learn how to style that skeleton with CSS or frameworks like Tailwind and Bootstrap. You will learn how to add interactivity into that skeleton to make something interactive. You will use JS, whether that's React components, Vue components, Angular components, whatever you're going to use, that's how you add interactivity to it. You will learn how to call an API, organize API data, showcase it on the front end, create animations, shaders. We will show you how to create 3D animations on the web as well. And yeah, basically anything front-end related, we will try to cover within this track. All right, team. That brings our live Q&A block and our official track kickoff to a close. As you log off the stream today, remember your absolute first priority, clear that week 1 milestone. Head straight over to your dashboard, get your local environment dialed in, synchronize your AI toolchains, and make sure your workspace is ready for action. This track is going to demand your focus, your reasoning, and your work ethic. But remember, the dedication you put in here over the next 9 weeks is exactly how you cross the line from a basic developer into a professional-grade engineer. Thank you all so much for listening. Thank you for the incredible energy in the live chat today, and let's make this cohort absolutely historic. I'll see you all in the community channels and inside our very first technical lab. Let's get to work.